All right, we are back. Chat, we are so back. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I'm your host, Cloud Hudson. I'm here with today's top weather stories, the bottom weather stories, and the verse weather stories as well. Okay, your gay little weather show. See, I dyed my hair to remind you that God promised not to flood the entire earth all at once. And for no other reason. Okay. So let's get into it. My computer's lagging so much today. I don't know what it is, if it's like warm in here or what the deal is. Oh, you know what? It would be because my Earthquake 3D set itself to go like a year back. It was loading way too many quakes. That is definitely helping to not have it do that. Okay, let's go to check out our headlines, shall we? By the way, headline in my life is that somebody bought me this beautiful fur coat. I'm so obsessed with it. I love it so much. I think I look really cute. I feel really cute. Looks very good with my jeans and my butt. Look, I look so cute. Do you want to give me a late night show now? Don't I look like a normal, trustworthy host? Don't I look like I totally didn't break into your house? Okay, why would I break into your house? I don't know. That I didn't do it. That's why. You can't think of any reasons, is because I wouldn't do it. Okay, let's go to the headlines. I gotta change to this, and then yes, here we go. Oh, why is that showing the wrong one? I totally had it on the right one the other day, a few seconds ago. Okay, there we go. Now you can all tell what I'm using to broadcast. Okay, here we go. America's heartland rocked by earthquake felt in several U.S. states. Which one are they talking about? They're talking about the one in Yellowstone National Park. Last night, there was a 3.9 at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. This is in the area, in the vicinity of a supervolcano. It's typical of the region. As we talk about on the show all the time, there's always a rumbling down in that Yellowstone caldera. So like, don't get too scared. It's not like Yellowstone's going to wake up and kill us all right now. It is possible, but it's not like, this isn't a big deal. It is just something that people were able to feel. Now, there were some other earthquakes that were pretty large in regular, like populated areas that I'll go over soon. There was like a 4 in Texas and a 5 up in, where is it? 4.5 in Texas and a 5.2 in Alaska. There's also a 5.1 in Taiwan again. So we'll get to that in our earthquake roundup. There's not like a whole lot, but there have been some pretty cool recent ones. Let's go to next thing. We have, let's go with just urgent weather matters. Multiple fires are burning in Western North Carolina, and it hasn't really been picked up on, many mainstream news outlets. Fox Weather is definitely at least talking about it. It's really unfortunate because this is the same exact area, Buncombe, the parts of Buncombe County that got hit really hard by Hurricane Helene are Old Fort, Swannanoa, Black Mountain, that like eastern side, and that is where these fires are. Probably not a coincidence. Probably there is a lot of brush, tinder, a lot of spare fuel for the fire in this area. So any little bit of fire would just grab on and burn. Very unfortunate. It is actively happening right now. People here are scared about it. They're also scared of other things happening right now. It's just a scary time in Western North Carolina. Let's go on with our stories. Yeah, so there's 3 fires. There's 4 fires really. There's 3 fires in McDowell County, and there's 1 fire I think in Buncombe County. That's the Old Fort one. And guys, it's not awesome. It's not great. They're not very well contained. The winds are too choppy and fast to get helicopters in the sky to be able to dump water on them from above or flame retardant. So we're just hoping that the winds die down tomorrow enough that we can get helicopters up. Anyway, here's some controlled fire for you. Time-lapse shows eruption at Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. It's a really cool time lapse. Oh, look at that plume grow. It's like a growth of some sort. Okay, you know what I mean. Looks like a slime mold. It looks kind of like a time lapse of a slime mold growing, if you can see it. It's so pretty. I don't know why it stops there. Oh, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful rivulets of, you can see the black is the cooled lava that's like flowing in chunks on the surface of the molten lava that's like radiating thermal heat that's incandescent color. Yeah, this is what's scary. This is another thing that's scary in addition to the fires. What's on the screen right now is another thing that's scary right now in Western North Carolina. Pretty much everywhere in America right now. Very scary. Okay. From controlled fire to controlled ice. Here is Niagara Falls as a winter wonderland. Freezing winter landscape. The whole river is frozen. There's frozen falls and icicles galore, and the falls themselves are still falling, but it's creating this like really cool icy scene that it's just got to be unreal to be there. I mean, terrifying, but it's got to be so gorgeous. Yeah, that's really cool. That is one thing I feel like I might be scared to go to. Did you see the auto caption said that she said Naruto Fall? That's funny. I thought it was Naruto Run, not Naruto Fall. Okay. The Earth's ocean surface is heating up and at an alarming rate, and it's only getting worse. Wow. Who would have guessed it? Not climate scientists that have been talking about this for 50 years. Not the people who are, I mean, don't listen to the nerds. Don't listen to the fucking nerds who are saying that the ocean's too hot. There's a big soup out there and it's boiling, and the soup is too hot, and we're going to burn our mouth on it. And by our mouth, I mean our clouds are going to take a little sip, going to go take a sip of this ocean surface and be like, ooh, too hot in that hot tub. Like that Eddie Murphy, Rick James bit on SNL. It's too hot in this hot tub. Really hot off the coast of Japan. Wow, what's going on out there? 400% faster. We are warming 400% faster than we did in the 1980s. When we started warning you. New study from the University of Reading in the UK has just revealed that the sea surface temperatures are rising at a rate of 0.27 degrees Celsius per decade. compared to just 0.06 degrees Celsius in the 80s. That is a 400% increase. This means that the upper layer of the ocean is absorbing heat much faster than anticipated, creating dangerous feedback loop that could lead to even more catastrophic climate consequences. Yay! In the 1980s, the hot water tap was running slowly, warming up the water by just a fraction of a degree each decade. But now the hot tap is running much faster and the warming has picked up its speed. I don't even know how many other ways we can say it. Not only is the ocean getting hotter, it's getting hotter faster. This would be amazing news if it was, I don't know, your hot water heater. This is terrible news if it's, I don't know, the ocean. How many dumb examples can I think of? This is bad. This is bad. Okay, cool, fun. This has people blame global oscillation sometimes, saying, the Earth heats up and cools down. Well, this current temperature spike has exceeded what El Nino will usually do. So that's also very concerning. There was a 2022 eruption that ejected enormous amounts of water vapor into the atmosphere, which actually does act as a greenhouse gas. Water vapor itself is a greenhouse gas. That's why we don't need more of the other ones. Trapping extra heat. It's like a blanket. It's like greenhouse gases. If you can't picture how a greenhouse works, maybe you can picture how a jacket works. You know how a jacket works. You put on a jacket and it keeps your body heat close to your body. Greenhouse gas keeps your earth heat close to your earth. Reduced cooling aerosols since 2020. New shipping regulations have significantly cut sulfur emissions, leading to clearer skies, which is not always awesome, because this, while it benefits air quality, this means that we're wearing less sunscreen. There's less optical blocking of heat coming into the earth. So greenhouse gases are about heat going away from the earth getting trapped, and this reduced aerosols is about incoming heat to the earth not getting blocked. And there's increased solar activity. The sun is actually hotter during the peak of the solar cycle. It just is like that. All of those things cannot fully explain the dramatic increase. This suggests an even larger underlying issue, that the oceans are absorbing more heat than climate models predicted. That is something that climate scientists even did predict. Now, if you're not an insider in the climate science world, then you wouldn't know that it's been a hot button controversial topic to trust the models, because the models that get released, the data that gets released to the public, isn't always what we as climate scientists know. It's what we know the public is capable of hearing. I don't say that to say like they're hiding science from you. I'm saying things are actually much worse than people are leading you to believe, because you can't just like have everyone know the full nature of global warming reality. Not everyone can handle that. I mean, climate scientists can barely handle it ourselves. It literally drives people crazy knowing what's happening. So what I'm saying is, we've known that models are under predicting the way that global climate collapse is going to happen. We have known for a while that we're leaving out factors like methane as a greenhouse gas. We're leaving out factors such as little variances in our estimates of pollution. We're also basing some climate models, a lot of them, on idealized climate awareness goals that countries will or will not meet, that we probably won't meet, probably will have even worse output than we're doing crunching the numbers on. Yeah. How do I not scare you with this? It's bad, but there's not no hope. There is hope. There is still time to act. We can reduce our fossil fuel consumption. We can always try to restructure our lifestyles individually to support less institutions, businesses, economies, and governments that are founded in extractive capitalism. We can try to be more self-sufficient, buy and eat and grow and make local. The less shipping you can contribute to, the better. Just stop buying shit online, please. Please stop buying shit online. Please stop shipping stuff as much as possible. If you can, I mean, don't go fully digital for everything, because you can't rely on digital forever, because there could be an EMP that wipes out all of your digital data. But try to rely less on online shopping, or just make sure that you can support your in-person, IRL, real, local providers of every good that you might need. Because that is, in my opinion, the way that it's not just driving your car less. It's not just getting an EV. It's not just getting the most efficient fuel car. It's also changing your whole lifestyle to reduce the impact of the fossil fuel industry on the way that you live your life. Like, make it so that you could live without fossil fuels. Make it so you could live if, I don't know, the petrodollar collapse. If there was suddenly no way to burn fossil fuels tomorrow, you'd be fine. That is the way that we can do an individual action. Also, keep it positive, bro. Just stay positive. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm checking the chat now. You walked on Kilauea volcano and saved a man's life there. What? Jenny, this is quite the tale. Was there before Horseshoe Falls fell in Niagara. What if you have gas inside your jacket? Well, there is gas inside your clothing. There's gas inherent in the fast fashion industry. I don't know what you mean by this comment, Jenny. What? Yeah, people are still doing that, I guess. I'm not. Yes, I am streaming on YouTube as well. Yes, I am double streaming, Mac Drew. Welcome. Yeah, here we go. This is it. This is my stream. Welcome to it. I've got some, I'm simulcasting to Twitch and YouTube so that everybody can access it, because I'm just here yelling about the weather. Apparently no one listens to me, but except, you're not no one. You guys are you guys are awesome. I love you so much, Dr. Lee Balone and Jenny and Kaylee, if she'd ever come back to the stream. And I don't know where Kaylee's been, but c'est la vie. Anyway, I was talking about the wildfires in Western North Carolina. This is the only one that the U.S. Wildfire Activity Web Map on ArcGIS.com is showing the North Fork incident. That is one that's got I think that one's like 40 acres and is 15% contained. There's one that's 0% contained. This is not awesome. It's right here on the North Fork of the Catawba River. This is also not even the one that we were talking about being in Black Mountain. This is the Black Mountains, but it's not where Black Mountain, the town, is. Black Mountain, the town, is down here between Swannanoa and Old Fort. Old Fort is where that's Black Mountain. This is where the other fire is. I think right here, they've got some thermal anomalies on the map. That might be where the Old Fort fire is, near Davistown, but it's not been updated on the map yet. Let's see, keeping an eye on the wildfires in California. Looks like we have reached 97% containment on the Palisades incident. So that wildfire's going better. We did have a few new wildfires discovered, but many have been put out across the region. The Eaton incident, that is at 99% contained. We've got wildfires scattered all up and down the coast, though. And then there's up here the Hughes incident. That's now at 98% containment. So they're doing a lot better over in California. It's not completely over yet, but they're doing a lot better. There's also the border fire incident, and that's at 96% containment. So you see that where we have these perimeters and established wildfires, you see these thermal anomaly hotspot, these heat dots. That's where I'm getting the evidence of my Black Mountain fire over here showing up near Davistown. That's why I'm assuming it's right there, because it's showing those thermal anomalies there. Okay, let's see. And by like thermal anomaly, I mean that the radiative power in the satellite, the wavelength of the satellite that measures temperature, basically is showing that this is above what should be the temperature over there compared to other areas. Like, this looks hot. This is a hot spot. Okay, let's go to our earthquakes now. Oh, I wanted to show Stellarium again, just to show you what we've got going on in the sky from an astronomy point of view. I know that I do astrology point of view kind of wrap up of the planets a lot, but I just want to show you astronomically. We do have, I want to show full screen. No, not full screen. Where's the one where I can see? Oh yeah, underneath. Okay. This is underneath the Earth. Underneath the Earth right now, we got the moon and the sun moving close to conjunction, meaning a new moon. Mercury is right there, having just moved into Aquarius. And I can show you the constellations here. Don't actually reflect tropical astrology. They reflect sidereal astrology, which is the type of astrology that keeps up with the progression of the zodiac wheel through the cosmos. We're about one sign off from actual placement. So when we see moon and sun and Mercury here in Capricorn, that is correct of sidereal astrology and actual astronomy, and not reflective of traditional popular tropical astrology. Then we got Saturn and Venus hanging out in Pisces. Those actually are in that little bit of overlap where it actually is in Pisces. We've still got Uranus hanging out in Taurus, right close to the Pleiades, like really close between the, this is right in the middle, the heart of the bull is where Uranus is right now. And Jupiter here shows that it is in Taurus. It's actually in Gemini for the tropical astrology, but astronomically, Mars is in Gemini and Jupiter is right at one of the bull horns of Taurus. Pretty close to Aldebaran. Actually, Jupiter is right over Ganymede right now. Wait, no, what am I saying? Ganymede is a moon of Jupiter, and Io, Callisto, those all show up here. That's pretty cool. Jupiter is right near, what is this one? HD, no, this, Tau Tauri. Jupiter is very close to Tau Tauri. Okay, Mars, we've got Mars is right in the heart of Pollux, one of the twins. Castor and Pollux are the twins. Okay, so that's just our stellarium look at the skies right now. Now, let's go to the earthquakes. Earthquakes. So, looking at earthquake 3D, let's make sure we're in date here. Make sure I got everything in like the past 24 hours. So, like I said, traditional, typical 3s and 2s over here near Puerto Rico. At this point, I would be surprised if we didn't have earthquakes around Puerto Rico. 4.5 down here in South Texas. That's near San Antonio, isn't it? It's at 3 kilometers depth. Kind of near San Antonio, not really. It says near Falls, Texas. This is in Karnes County. You would have felt it. Oh, Pearson Oil Field is where this 4.5 is. Very close to Pearson Oil Field. Interesting. San Antonio was in the zone of possible feeling it, the quake impact zone. So if you were in San Antonio, you probably felt that. We also had our regular Texas oil field related quakes, or oil field adjacent quakes, I should say. These ones right here, like 2.3 at 4 kilometers depth. This is probably going to say south of Whitesides, New Mexico. Yep, south of Whites City, New Mexico. And does that look like it's south of New Mexico or in Texas to you? I'd say it's more in Texas than south of New Mexico, but that is just my opinion. I wonder why they would call this south of New Mexico instead of in Texas. Probably because this is near an oil field. Okay, the other spot that we get a lot of quakes in Texas at is over here, right in the heart of Texas. Post Texas, just south of Lubbock. This also doesn't tell me what's out there. Looks like a bunch of nothing. But I'm sure if we poked around on Google Earth, we would find something interesting. Okay, but that's not this show. That's not what I do on this show. I'll leave that to people who are just here for the earthquakes. I'm just reporting. I'm just calling them like I see them. If we go back a few days, we will see that, yeah, 3.0, where's this 3.5 that was in? It's not showing up on here, no matter how far back I go. There was a 3.5 reported in Yellowstone, but I guess that's not showing up. Down here in, there's just so much to take in the West Coast. So many earthquakes in California. There's been some 2s off the coast in the Juan de Fuca fracture zone. There was a 3.0 and a 4.2 out here on that Juan de Fuca plate. It's kind of where like just like on the same latitude as the Olympic Mountains. It's out here in the middle of that plate right there that's transforming itself. Up here in, so those were some big ones. Let's go to Alaska, where we run into this 5.3 at 8 kilometers depth, as well as a smattering of 1s and 2s. Then, and that was like up here where at Takotna, Alaska, you know, that place, near the Takotna River, and Tatalina Long Range Radar Site, whatever that is. I don't know what that means. Long Range Radar Site. Interesting. Maybe it's radar that they're trying to make earthquakes with. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. 5.5 out here on the Aleutian Island chain at 0 kilometers depth. That is probably at same place we saw a big one last week. You're welcome. Unalaska. Yes, the Fox Islands, the Aleutian Islands. Now, 3.6 further out on the Aleutian Islands and a 4.4 as well. Down here in Hawaii, we had 2s, 1s, and 2s. We had a 5.1 here on the Kamchatka Peninsula at 0 kilometers depth. We also had a surface 5.2 here on either side of the Philippine plate. That's this diamond-shaped plate between the Philippines and the Pacific Ocean plate that's subducting there, and Japan. There is this, one of those is the surface 5 and 5.1 that happened right here near Taiwan, where that larger quake happened last week. We had a 4.2 at 165 kilometers depth and a 5.5, and then a smattering of 5s throughout the Philippines and Indonesia. Handful of low range 2s in southern Australia. I don't know why I almost called that so many other places that start with A. 5.3 and a 5.1 on the surface here, both surface quakes. And those were at the Vanuatu Islands. Oh, I clicked them into the wrong tab. I have to be in, it'll open in whatever one I have active. And then we had a 5.7 out here. That was on the Comedic Islands. That's the islands stretching between New Zealand and Fiji kind of area. But speaking of New Zealand, they also had their own 5.0. And then halfway between New Zealand and, well, really, what are these islands? The Loyalty Islands, that stupid name. Northwest of New Zealand is all they say here. But it looks like its own little stretch of land. This is in Zealandia. This is in the sunken continent of Zealand, which we talked about last show. Let's see. Have to go to the other side of the world to get some Antarctic. Yeah, here we go. On the Antarctic plate, we had a 5.0 at 0 kilometers depth, a surface 5.3, and another surface 5.3 on the other side of, like, flanking South America, really. And a 4.8 here in Argentina and a 5.0 here in, is this in Peru? Let's see. Yes, near the coast of Peru, near Ica. Okay. That is our earthquake roundup. Let's go to look at our volcano activity. Gotta close all these tabs or computer will get very mad at me. Final stages, mile-wide hidden volcano ready to erupt. Okay, the scare tactic. That volcano is underwater and probably not going to hurt anything. I'm tired already. Okay. Ooh, mild ash emissions from White Island on January 14th. Those are outdated, but very interesting looking. Here's intense spattering and lava flows from the north vent at 7:07 p.m. yesterday. So it looks like Kilauea has started its 5th eruption. This is, which one is this? EU, Copernicus. What is that one of? We got Ibu, Samiru, exploding, Dukono, White Island, New Zealand. I think that's what that GIF was. Activity at the volcano is currently characterized by weak to moderate steam and gas plumes, occasionally containing minor amounts of ash. The ash plumes has been variable, as observed through the webcams in Wakatane and Tekaha, as well as satellite imagery. Variability was notably demonstrated during monitoring flights on the 14th January, as well as webcam observations on the 27th January. Overall, emissions have been weak to moderate, steam to gas plumes, so not always awesome. Okay, Kilauea. Effusive eruption returned to Kaluapewe Summit Caldera at about 6:41 p.m. local time yesterday. Spattering started small to take place from the north vent associated with lava flows. At 7:40 p.m., spattering intensified and culminated into 30 to 40 meters high dome-shaped fountains that feed multiple lava flows. Very cool. Seismic tremor reached its peak at 6:40 p.m. local time, and instruments detected ground uplift by 2.5 microradians beneath the Halemaumau crater and switched to deflation as the eruption goes on. So we are now in a new Kilauea eruption cycle. That's really exciting. Santiaguito continues its explosive activity. Fuego had thermal anomalies atop the summit. That is probably the one that we were looking at earlier. Nevado del Ruiz had new volcanic ash emissions, as well as Reventador. Very, very active volcanoes. Let's go. There's a lot to talk about tonight. So let's just dive into our atmosphere, because I've got to talk tonight about both the so up here earlier tonight, there was a strong we were looking at some pretty strong snow showers near Albany, New York, near where Doctor lives. I think you probably are getting a lot of snow. How much snow are you seeing out there, Doctor? It is. Oh yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, I screwed up. I told the lady in licensing I was robbed. Tools appeal decision affirmed the original appeal. I'm sorry that happened. 3.8 off the coast of Maine, 8 miles down. Let me look at that. Oh yeah, there was that one a few days ago. There's 2.0 here in the past 24 hours. And yeah, the 3.8 off the coast of Maine, that was on the 27th at 13 kilometers down. And a 1.3 in northern New Jersey. Anyone want to guess where? Yep, you guessed it, near Trump National Golf Course. Okay. There was also a 2.2 on the border of Ohio and West Virginia, and a 1.4 in Arkansas. Okay. Let me go back to intentional plane crash. That is either intentional or just the worst example of air traffic control ever seen. Not ever seen, but probably. The snow belt that is reaching across here from Watertown through Albany is going all the way to Boston, south of Boston to Brockton, just stretching all across Massachusetts. Probably terrible time to be a masshole driver out there on the roads. Not the kind of weather you want to be driving in. Definitely getting a lot of moisture swept through the Great Lakes. I feel like this is the path. This is the angle of approach where you get the most possible moisture to the Boston area, because you go, this is all water, and this entire stretch can be water. This entire stretch can be water. That's like more than half of the path being over water. So this is a really good recipe for some lake effect snow. This is actually like the clipper system that we were talking about earlier in the week. We were talking about how there's going to be a triple threat clipper system coming in, and this is the one that's poised to do the most damage, the most dumping of snow all over New England. Also, lots of snow still dwindling down near Halifax off the coast there. That's the previous clipper system that moved through. Now, there's also flash flooding, possible mesoscale precipitation discussion being issued here in Texas and parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. This is because there's a risk of flash flooding due to training events and a really a area with shower and thunderstorm activity with an embedded heavy rainfall band moving through urbanized portions of the state. So that means that flash flooding risk increases where there's less permeable soil, more urbanized areas. The trough in the southern stream, along with a surface cold front, is increasing coverage and rainfall intensity in the area. We are looking at rainfall rates of 1 to 1.5 inches, and possibly even areas of 2 inch per hour rainfall rates, with a total rainfall of 2 to 4 inches. Of course, low-lying and rural areas are prone to flooding. This is the training. This is what we're talking about. Here in the middle of Dallas, we've got flash flood warning in radar indicated flash flood warnings for 1 to 2 inches in 1 hour. That is a huge amount of rainfall. Between 1 and 3 inches of rainfall have fallen so far this evening. So anywhere in central downtown Dallas or southwest Dallas, you are looking at potentially really bad flash flooding. There's a special weather statement here for wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour. This is when you see so in pink, I'm drawing the shape of the storm. The shape of the storm is like this. And in, let's see, orange, I'm going to draw the direction the wind is flowing. The direction is like this. So anytime you see the storm shape parallel, the slope of the storm's shape parallel to the direction the wind is flowing, that's when you get training storms. That is when it rains so much that even when the rain moves out, it can create more storms, and it creates like an attack on effect, kind of like that game Snake, where the more pixels your little snake ate, the longer the tail of the snake gets. The more this storm moves in a way such that it produces excess rainfall in one area, the more it's going to produce rainfall in that area. It's kind of like those runaway positive feedback mechanisms that we talked about with the rising ocean temperatures earlier in the show. So anytime the pink and the orange lines that I just drew are going in the same direction, that's when you get those storms running like running train on Dallas. These storms are really just running train all the way from Dallas to Fort Smith. Okay, I can't take myself seriously saying that. And then you see a big bowing out. This is the cooled air mass, the rain cooled air mass, and the like outflow of this highly convective string of storms. So this is where the real percolation is happening. This is where the big nasty storms are. And this is where the little isolated bits are. Now I do see some power outages popping up here. 98.2% of people in Schleicher County, where El Dorado, Texas are without power. Now, that could be because they are right here at the beginning spawn point of where the storms are starting. The spawn point is what I call where these cells begin their journey, where the air masses come together and create the convection. You've got this onshore flow of Gulf moisture and this over the mountain flow of air just really chopping it up to converging air masses. This is the Gulf Stream and the cold front coming together and making that hatched pattern. Do you see them reaching up like this to each other? When they get all that gridded, crossed wind streaks like that, that's when you can get a lot of rotation, a lot of vorticity. That's when we get some nasty little storms that if they didn't produce tornadoes, they at least are producing some nasty, nasty winds. Let's look at actually a local radar so that we can take a, let's see, San Angelo is close. Let's see if yeah, this looks nasty. Let's look at velocity. If any of these look like tornadic. It looks terrible. I'm just going to say, like, even if it's not tornadic, it looks like there's a major wind shear in effect near El Dorado, Texas. So even if there's not a tornado, you don't need one to do a whole lot of damage, which is probably why we're seeing, I mean, it's only 1,000 people, but almost all of those 1,000 people are without power. So that's pretty significant, I'd say. If we look at Dallas, they're not mentioning tornadoes much at all. We're really looking at just a nasty flooding event. Let's see. Kaylee, you're back. Hello. I was just talking about you. Wasn't I just saying, where's Kaylee? Vermont got a couple inches. New York, 6-inch up in Summit. Over the valleys of the moon, down the valley of the shadow, ride boldly, ride. The shade replied, if you seek for El Dorado. Interesting. Let's go. Let's see. What am I looking at? Let's look at some satellite imagery. Let's see our bigger picture of lower level water vapor. And this is where you can see the dry air from Southern California is reaching all the way across the country to North Carolina. Great. I wonder why we're having fires. Can't be that there's fire weather there. Oh, and we've got a second mesoscale precipitation discussion just issued. Flash flooding likely. Heavy rainfall. Areas of cell training will continue to pose concerns for flash flooding, and especially around the more urbanized locations. This will include Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. Let's see. The latest GOES infrared satellite imagery. That's what we're looking at right now, actually. In conjunction with dual pole radar. That's what we just looked at. Shows a southwest northeast orient band of heavy showers. That is what we talked about when I highlighted things on there. And thunderstorms impacting areas of north central to northeast Texas, including and especially the southern and eastern portions of the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. All the convection is being driven by the interaction of a shortwave energy ejecting northeast across the southern plains out ahead of a deep closed low over the southwest, and with the pooling of at least modest instability and favorable southerly moisture transport out ahead of the frontal zone. That is the two air masses I was talking about doing a little hatch work like that. The Cape values across much of the central to northeast Texas have risen to as much as 1,000 joules per kilogram with the aid of southerly low-level jet of 30 to 40 knots. And Sierra LBT values, I forget what that stands for, in the surface to 850 millibar layer have been increasing steadily over the past few hours, which is reflective of the increasing low-level moisture transport. Flow aloft is quite divergent based off of GOES infrared water vapor data. Let's look at that now. And this should continue to promote a strong lower level jet with enhanced warm air advection along with favorable moisture and instability transport for heavy rainfall. Basically, everything I was just saying is this is the perfect little storm of, let's look at the divergence aloft. We're getting that frontal setup here mixing with the lower level instability and moisture. This is that big divergence that I was talking about. This like outflow, the exit region is really strong. So the way that you get a line of storms moving is to speed up the rate at which the air is moving out of the storm. You can get a storm to get going more if it's got places to go after this. Let's get through this line. We're moving along. That kind of thing. And that is exactly what's happening here. Oh, they just took away that mesoscale precipitation discussion. Where is MPD 6? I was just reading it, and that was a great illustration. What? Okay, whatever. They said, nope, you don't get to read our precipitation discussions. Too detailed, too good. And here in the mid-levels, you can see that organization really coming into clarity. Really clear where the divergence in the mid-levels is going to Kansas one way and to Tennessee the other way. We're just like spreading out, fanning out. It's like when the tide comes in and goes out everywhere. Also, yes, you bring up, Kaylee, you bring up a good point. There is an atmospheric river that's about to head to the west. So let's see. This is, oh, that's northern. Let's see if I can get northern Pacific. Is that Northeast Pacific? Yeah. Okay. So this is what you're looking at. Mid-level organization is really beautiful. That is, look at this gorgeous, gorgeous storm. Look at this spinny boy. It looks like a Beyblade out there. That's not what you want to see if you don't want rain. This is our lower level moisture organization looking even better, honestly, about to spit a lot of tropical moisture up onto the Pacific Northwest and West Coast in the form of a atmospheric river that is coming from Hawaii, otherwise known as the Pineapple Express. It is going from Hawaii to California. That's the traditional Pineapple Express orientation. This little low pressure system of rotation out here in the North Pacific Ocean is really driving that front fanning, that feathered frontal foof. That's what is about to spit all the water. It's about to spit all the water all over the West Coast. Just coming from like right this direction. Orange doesn't really show up on this. Let's go to pink. So this is like where the it goes north. Right now, the main part of the atmospheric river that's coming ashore is in Vancouver, but as it interacts with further north, as we interact with slightly further north patterns here, this is going to kind of force them down, force them southwards to be spitting all over the Pacific Northwest. So they're going to get out west, you're going to get like lots of rainfall, but also possibly lots of frozen precipitation too. Some places, higher elevations, are forecast to expect like up to 4 feet. Fresh powder, Sicknar for the shred, bro. If you're a snowboarder out there, sounds great. If you are anybody else who has to deal with this, that sounds terrible. I know the sunshine is great. You can always find the sunshine in your heart, but it's not the same as the outdoor sunshine. I know. So yeah, this is what's upcoming. You just got enough rain to start settling down the fires, and now we're getting too much rain. About to get too much rain. All from this very beautiful spinny boy. And it is a beautiful spinny boy out there. I mean, even up to the upper levels, you're seeing organization all the way to the top. This thing goes all the way to the top. But yeah. Really beautiful. I gotta stop calling these storms beautiful because they're terrible. They're terrifying. But they are such a great example of the organization. Okay, let's move along to. Let's go back to the internet and take a look at. Well, you know, I want to look at pivotal weather before we leave. Just want to make sure. Let's look at our observed precipitation. Past 24 hours, just looking at those Clipper systems. Past 72 hours, you can see a lot more of that southern rainfall that fell because in the deep south, they got a lot more rain. And past week, we're looking at, I mean, even California was getting up into those 1 to 2 inches range. So that is good news for them. Our observed temperatures have been a lot nicer than they were, though it's still winter for much of the country. We're getting back into the 60s and 70s, meaning that we are going to be able to see those higher Cape values. Gulf and southern moisture fueled systems are going to be able to produce more convection. The storms are going to be able to get stronger the hotter the air is. I don't know how much clearer we have to make it as climate scientists to explain to you that hotter air makes more storm thing. The hotter the water and hotter the air, the more stormy go. Boom. I don't like how simple do I have to make it? The hot air makes the big air. I don't know. Hot air go, cold air go. That's all I can explain it as. Let's go to look at our magnetosphere. No, let's look at our Schumann resonances first. Okay, Schumann resonances. Whoa, big spiky boy today. Big spiky boy in the last hour, actually. Whoa, we are having quite the resonance. I feel activated. Do you? I feel like my hair looks a little bit like the sonogram. Yeah, do you see this? Big activation here at around 0 to 10 hertz. And then a big vertical spike right here. So it looks like maybe we're going into a big activation. Let's take a look at what that means on our magnetosphere. The big flowy egg thing. I see an eyeball, you see an egg. Whoa. Those lines of equivalent velocity have really expanded there. Whoa, look at the backwash. That was a push way in front. That is crazy looking. Watch this. This is the magneto tail, and it goes echoes, like echo flows into the front. This push, and then it sucks it. It's going towards the sun. That's crazy. That is crazy. This is really trying to protect us from the earth, or from the sun, protect the earth from the sun. Our magnetic field does some work, buddy. It does a lot of work to protect us. Can't even explain it all. Like, can't explain the gravity of the situation. Our planet would be like Mars if it didn't have a magnetosphere. Luke Combs are working with North Carolina to ensure funds are distributed where they're needed the most. Okay. I can tell you that the organizations I work with are definitely getting funds where they're needed the most. If you want to support beloved Asheville, you can do that. There is a lot less fraud in the aid out in North Carolina, and a lot more of just every single person needs help so bad that there's just sometimes not enough to go around. But I actually think there is enough to go around. There's enough help for everyone. Josh Stein is doing a pretty good job as the governor, getting aid to people. Certain national politicians have tried to take credit for the work that the local government has been doing, but I'm not going to get into that. Just saying, Trump didn't really do anything for North Carolina except for like pretend that he did all the work that everybody on the ground has been doing since day one. Didn't do anything different. Let's see. Let's keep talking about the magnetosphere. We are real people. That is the thing, is there are real people in North Carolina. We're not fake people. We really grow the food we eat, and we really work for the things that we have. And it's bonkers that there's people out there in the rest of the world that are very disconnected from their cycle of living. Wow, look at all this pressure on this earth. It's like knocking us on the head, like, hello in there. The sun is really like sending out the boom, boom, boom. We're getting hit, buddy. That would cause the precipitation of the Schumann resonances, I think. Look at that big hit. That would be when the velocity went backwards in front of the earth and had to like push back against the sun. Let's see what that means for our solar activity. Sorry I've been gone so long too. Wow, there was a lot of activity. 27th, we had quite a few coronal mass ejections. The 28th, lots. And 29th, only like 4. But lots of coronal mass ejections. Let's see what Enlil and WSA have modeled that we just experienced. Ooh wee ooh, killer tofu. Okay. Just the Parker spirals. It's just the Parker spirals. And yes, this glancing blow. Let's take a look at our dashboard. Huge coronal hole facing the Earth right now. Double coronal hole faces the Earth. Let's look at that. You could make an argument that there are two coronal holes facing the planet. That would be the increased wind speed, one in the northern and southern hemisphere. However, the coronal hole on the northern hemisphere is by far the largest of the two and should be the main driver of geomagnetic activity that is expected. It'll be increasing geomagnetic conditions as early as tomorrow, 2 days from now, Friday, January 31st, ramping up into Saturday, February 1st. Enhanced geomagnetic conditions when the solar wind stream arrives with KP values between 4 to 5, which would be minor G1 geomagnetic storms. Okay, there are no noteworthy sunspot regions. Cluster of sunspots that show slight chance of development, but there's a very low chance of solar flares soon. So let's go to auroral activity. Looks like we've probably got forecast for active geomagnetic conditions, but we're not at them yet. The density keeps spiking with these big waves of plasma hitting the Earth, like in boom, boom, boom succession. Let's go now to our astrology, because our planetary weather, because I am so excited to tell you that Mercury is now in Aquarius. Mercury has just been making a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius, which is like not so comfy, but is definitely making a lot of waves, making a lot of shifts in the collective container that holds all of our emotions. We now have an Aquarius stellium in the sky with, and we just had like our new moon happen today, yesterday, actually, like last night into today has been our Aquarius new moon, co-present with Mercury and Pluto making their conjunction. All of that is trine to Jupiter in Gemini at 11 degrees. So this new moon was trine to Jupiter. That gives it kind of a more benefic feeling than you would normally get from something co-present with a Pluto-Mercury conjunction. Your birthday is today, Jenny. Happy birthday. Oh my God. Hi. Happy birthday on a new moon, on a Mercury Pluto conjunction. I'm so glad that we got to everybody say happy birthday to Jenny in the chat. I love having Aquariuses here. I love my Aquarius people so much. Harry Styles is an Aquarius. My best friend, two of my best friends are Aquariuses. I've fallen in love with so many Aquariuses that never reciprocate, but I just love them anyway. I love Aquariuses so much. We have Saturn in Pisces at 17 degrees. That's making a loose trine to Mars retrograde in Cancer. We've got Venus in its last little bit of Pisces. Venus at 26 degrees of Pisces conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces, and the North Node at 29 degrees of Pisces. So Venus, Neptune, and North Node all combining here to give us a dreamscape of visions of the future that align with our higher purpose in life, I think. Yeah. Happy birthday, Jenny. The 29th is your birthday. Awesome. You're a Pisces. Hubby is the Cancer. Oh, that's so cute. I love Pisces and Cancer together. I love you guys. Show some love for each other in the chat. I love you guys so much. We've got, so Saturn co-present with Venus, Neptune conjunction on the North Node. He's the sane one. He probably just thinks he's the sane one. Anyway, Pisces can seem insane, but sometimes holds the most wisdom. Maybe not always the sanest, but definitely wisest. We still got Uranus and Taurus. Me, I'm a humble Taurus myself. I am a Taurus with a Saturn in Aquarius, and yeah, that's me. Pisces moon. I'm a Pisces moon and a Scorpio rising, so that's a fun combination. Let's see. Let's do a little singing bowl and get a read on our vibe weather, and I'm going to sign off because I am very tired. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Thank you. I did my hair myself. I will be releasing a YouTube video of how I did it and video of me doing it and the whole process. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. I just love how iridescent it looks. Looks like some sort of metal that caught on fire or something. Really fun. This is how I wish it always looked. It's how I feel on the inside. I hope your dogs liked that one. I know your dogs like the singing bowl. It's calming for my inner dog as well. My dogs like the singing bowl. My inner dogs. The dog in me. I got that dog in me, and it loves listening to the singing bowl. Good. Oh, hi, Kiera. Okay. I'm gonna listen to the selenite. Listen to the selenite charge deck first. I think all plants need a little crystal friend, a little rock friend, and all decks need a little rock friend as well. Oh, that's sweet. That is very sweet. Okay. Dogs love the singing bowl. I don't know why, but I want to go to a dog park with a singing bowl and watch them all come to me. Okay. What's the vibes of the day? There is nothing for me to guard against. Oh, that's a sweet message after today. There is nothing for me to guard against. You exist in a place of absolute well-being. Tell yourself that again and again. Know it. Be the evidence of it to give others reason to believe that all can be well. There's nothing for me to guard against. I hope that's true. Here's the labradorite infused befriended card deck. jacket back on. It was hot, and now I'm cold again. Your fuzzy jacket. It's so fuzzy. I feel like a cloud. Okay. Ask what goes with this card that says there's nothing for me to guard against. We are in that state of well-being that is the natural state. Natural for us to be in that state of well-being. There's nothing for me to guard against. Three of Wands. Upright. So the Three of Wands has a person on the top of a hill with three wands looking out at boats on the horizon, though it might be the bay at sunset or sunrise because it's yellow, but it shows ships on there. So I believe the foreground is supposed to be sun shining off of a body of water. It is indicating that we are looking towards our potential battles. But again, maybe there's nothing for us to guard against. There's nothing happening right now. We're not in danger. It is actually okay. Things are actually fine. We are ready, though, standing at attention. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm not missing out on any nuances in the Three of Wands. Yeah, expansion, discovery, and planning, opportunities. So let's not guard against these things. These are things we should be expecting. Progress, expansion, foresight, overseas opportunities. These are planning for the future from a place of abundance mindset rather than lack mindset or poverty mindset. There's nothing that we need to guard against. We don't need to be calculating what if this bad thing happens when we're planning. That's for when the bad thing is about to happen clearly, not for when we're making the plan. You don't make your plan to go to a theme park based on the likelihood of you falling out of a roller coaster or not. You go to a theme park based on whether you want to go to a theme park, not over analyzing every decision you might make there and one fluke of luck possibly biting you in the butt. It is very unlikely that you, even though the most dangerous thing that could happen to you at the amusement park is flying off the roller coaster, it is also one of the least likely things to happen. So you don't need to make your plans based on that. Three of Wands is telling us, don't be so scared, so guarded. You really don't have to be so small with your visions. You can make big plans, big dreams. Like, it is okay to dream. It is okay to pay attention to your upcoming challenges and changes. Yeah. Could be time to travel. Who knows? Who knows? All right, liminal space. Hello. We've got this ocean jasper with the liminal space. What would you like to tell us, liminal space card? Oh, liminal space. What goes with the Three of Wands? And there's nothing for me to guard against. What's the vibes for today? Kind of awesome cards because people really want to induce fear right now. And I don't think that is actually necessary. We don't have to be in the fear mindset. But a lot of people would benefit from manipulating us into being afraid right now. So let's not let the terrorists win. The terrorists win when you're scared of them, because they're terrorists. Who's the terrorists? The call is coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the White House. Okay. The liminal space has something to tell us, I'm sure. What is it? What is it that you want to say, liminal space? I guess that one. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. It's got somebody sitting on a cliff looking at the sunset. Beautiful, beautiful card. It's be appreciative and grateful. I actually drew this card in my New Year spread. That was a pretty cool one. What a time to be alive, New Year's spread. That's a great card to pull for that, isn't it? What a time to be alive. This moment is like a secret the universe is sharing only with you. No one has had to walk through this life as you. No one has been through what you have been through. And you made it through all of it. Look how far you have come. Take a deep breath. Right now, just for today, I am not afraid of people, places, or things. I am not afraid of fear itself. I am love, actually, which is the opposite of fear. So, yeah. Well, folks, y'all, loved ones, I love you all so very much. This has, my hair does look really cool on the, like when it's all curly like this. That's really neat. This has been another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I love you so very freaking much. Don't be afraid. Love yourselves. Love your neighbors. Be grateful that you're alive at this crucial turning point of a time on this planet. It's a beautiful time to be alive, even if it's terrifying. Terrifying beauty is what the earthly experience is all about, I think. So get in there, get scared, but don't be too scared. Just enjoy the terrible, terrifying glory that's all around you. I love you so much. Have a great night. Goodbye.